Ladies and gentlemen, I think I should recap for you all since we have been off for a couple of weeks. Our illustrious would-be adventurers from the grand city of Orlustran have found their way north. After bearing witness to a meteor, a flame falling from the heavens, streaking across the sky towards the Stormsong Mountains. They alone bore witness to this, or at least that's what they hope. And they have gone on a adventure to try and find out what that something might have been. This has led them to reconnect to connect with each other, we'll say, and journey into places known and unknown in this journey. They have found themselves in the Siltwood, a marshland forest that is dense and thick and vibrant with all kinds and manner of plant life and fauna, both beautiful and dangerous. Also occupied with a myriad of creatures, including a number of drake-like beings here in the forest as well. The ambush drakes that they came to know very early on in their voyage almost turned them back. But they persevered, found themselves heading into the heart of the Siltwood, where they met a different acquaintance, a dragon as well, but a pseudo-dragon, much smaller, certainly far more intelligent, one that seemed to desire to aid them in their journey as they ventured towards the depths of the forest. And after a time, they came to know that this pseudo-dragon, whom is being called Starry at the moment, were leading them to a specific place. Do I even want to? You guys are just killing it. All right. Leading them to a specific place, leading them purposefully to bear witness to something, to an event of some kind, where they met a conclave of other dragonlings, gem dragonlings that were there to supervise what seemed to be a special event involving a crystal of some sort, a very large one. However, things very quickly went awry as a bog hag and her minions leapt into the scene and attempted to take whatever was happening with this crystal. What they came to know to be an emerging dragonling being born into the world that this bog hag coveted for themselves. Battle was done. Fierce battle, to say the least. And just barely, our adventurers managed to send the bog hag fleeing from the scene. Unfortunately, she fled, was not caught. So maybe, just maybe, we'll get to see her again at some point. But that was the least of our companions' worries, as in the aftermath of all of this, picking themselves up, healing a little bit from the vicious foray that was fought in front of all of them, they got to finally see this emerging dragonling come into the world. Diamond scales, light crescendoing across every surface, this magical place made all the more magical by the birth of a new creature. But that was only a moment of respite for everyone, for the Dragon Conclave, after the birth of this dragonling, ascended into the skies and flew away, taking, for some of our companions, hope with them, as the unsettling nature of the events of the day, the events of maybe the past few days of entering the Siltwood and almost coming to death, was a harrowing experience for several of our companions, and it weighed heavily upon them. Perhaps none more so than Mira, who cut herself off from her twin sister and seemed to want to just close her eyes and end this long series of unfortunate events for her. Unfortunately, sleep would not find her. She was too fraught. And as she pushed herself up, she noticed a lingering light in the birthplace of the Diamond Dragonling, and seemingly drawn towards it, she pushed herself forward, slowly, and perhaps a little bit surprisingly to her companions. She made her way over and clutched this diamond in her hand, holding it aloft before a bright, so bright, blindingly bright light encapsulated the entirety of the space, preventing anyone from seeing anything about to happen. And that was where we ended our previous adventure. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you get a nice little sneak peek into a bit of a pre-recorded segment, I'll admit. We handled this away from all of our illustrious adventurers. Deb and I had a bit of a moment that we recorded to show what happens to Mira in these circumstances. And so, for all of you, please enjoy this brief interlude of what Mira experiences, and we will return to you as soon as it's done. As you awaken, your eyes are greeted by an overwhelming radiance. A room so suffused with a white glow that the boundaries of space almost seem to dissolve at the edges of what you can see. Squinting against this sheer brilliance, you can catch vague outlines that suggest towering bookshelves or maybe ornate furniture. The details are obscured by this luminous veil that is enveloping you entirely. The intensity of this light imparts an undeniable sense of grandeur to this space. It's as if the room itself is the heart of a star. Its light not just illuminating, but also asserting a silent dominion over all within it. The air is thick with the scent of parchment and aged wood, hinting at a library of knowledge, or it could be the subtle trace of polish from a study, perhaps meant for profound contemplation. Despite the opulence, however, suggested by the room's mostly hidden details, certain solemnity pervades, a reverence demanded by the palpable power that fills the air here. It's as though the light is a monarch, and the obscured chamber its court, where even the shadows bow in deference, and silence holds its breath in respect. As your eyes adjust, the radiance begins to ebb just enough to hint at structure and order. A room that is both a sanctuary of wisdom and a throne room of enlightenment.
Hello?
Your voice, hesitant at first, rises into the brilliance. Clear, resonating call, seeking an anchor in this blinding expanse. The words almost float outward from you, the few syllables stretching and bending as if warped by the room's luminosity. They hang momentarily in the charged air before cascading back to you, a series of echoes, each more faint than the last. There's no reply. No whisper of another presence, just the return of your own voice, dwindling into the corners of this unknown sanctuary. The echoes fade, as if absorbed by the walls, or maybe the unseen ceiling so bathed in light, leaving behind a silence that is almost tangible, as if you could reach out and touch it. In this moment, this room feels infinitely larger, as if the very light holds its breath, waiting, listening with you for a response that does not come.
Well, this feels familiar. Hello?
More echoes resound. This time the echoes are diminished. They're not as intense. They don't have the same quality of them. It happens faster, perhaps, as they get further away from you. Maybe you're just losing sense of time. Certainly your sense of space is affected by being here. Your sense of time very well could be as well.
If you brought me here, why don't you show yourself? You've never done it before, so I don't even know what I'm expecting.
The echoing voice that responds to you is almost overwhelming. You think to yourself, perhaps later, after this experience has concluded, that if you hadn't already been so suffused with the raw emotions that you were already dealing with, you might not have been able to deal with it in this moment. But having the strength of all of that, the conviction of everything that you're enduring and being confronted by something completely new, you don't wilt against the voice. You don't see anything new as you hear this slow hum rise up and say, I am showing you. You are seeing me now.
Why? Why now? I don't need you now.
Don't you?
No. I needed you 10 years ago. I needed you when I didn't know what to do or where to go. I've made my own way.
Yes, you have. And you've done well for yourself. But it has not been without guidance.
Sure, my mother's guidance, professor's guidance, none from you.
There are many out there in this wonderful world who ask such things of us, and we wish so very much that we could answer every call. It is the very few that we call on most who answer when we cannot. Surely someone of your brilliance can understand when a proxy must serve a purpose. Someone such as Vanya, the acolyte from the temple on Salmeris, that guided you away, that showed you your path was mistaken, that helped you come to terms with no one answering your prayers in the way that you wanted. And what of Genya, the tutor that your mother hired to help you in those years after you told her of your desire to be a wizard? Did you not think that they might have had a hand in helping guide you?
Of course they had a hand. but it's just as much as anyone else. The Ascendant were silent.
We often are. For that is what must be.
So what now? Why now?
Because you have reached a tipping point. Because AD is reaching a tipping point. And she needs you more than you will ever know. She needs not just your bond that you shut away, not just your strength, not just your heart. She needs your mind. She needs your awareness. Not all of the people that I helped nudge in your path. Not anyone that taught you the magic you so desperately wanted to learn and understand. And you might think that wizarding is your calling. And you might think that your failures to do the magics the ways that your mother does, you might think all of that is for naught. And I'm telling you now that you merely have to open your eyes to a new possibility. Magic is not one way or another. It is always, and it is always within you. Because despite what you might think, your call was answered. And now all you have to do is let light, the arcane, guide you.
I don't understand. I don't know what you're offering. I don't want it.
You didn't want it when you asked for it 10 years ago. You're not doing this for you. You're doing this for love. And when you do this for the right reasons, your calls are answered. Maybe not in the ways that you think, maybe not in the ways that you want initially. They are.
I would do anything for her.
This I know. And it is good that you are her sister. Someone else might have chosen a different way. Not you. When I say that AD needs you, do not take the proclamation lightly. You will understand in time all of the questions that you have. You will understand in time why you were answered. And I hope that many, many years from now, you will understand the path before you needed to be thus, for you to be able to do what you need to do for AD.
You have no idea how much I want to say no.
You can at any time, but you must mean it. This bond that is now awakened within you, all you have to do is ask, and it can be undone. I do not give my gifts willingly. I give them because they are needed, and I trust you to use them well. And as the light slowly starts fading out, you find yourself holding the crystal in your hand once again. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As we resume, Andrew, Beth, two of you, I'm sorry, 80 and Vi, you see, or your eyes glazed over from the bright white light that had kind of washed everything and blinded all of you. Your vision starts to coalesce once again, and blinking through it, perhaps some tears, from the experience of it, slowly everything starts coming back into focus once again. You're not sure how much time really passed. It couldn't have been more than a few heartbeats, since you were blinded. And slowly, as your vision comes back, I think 80 first, because she has the highest passive perception, you're able to start seeing shapes and sight coming clearer and clearer until you see Mira kneeling on the ground in front of the area where the dragonling had been born, clutching something tightly in her hands. Deb, could you tell us, please, what Mira's facial expression or outward expressions of emotion are in this moment?
She's just sort of stunned. There are a couple of tears starting to fall down her face, and as soon as she's kind of aware that she's back in the space with her group.
She's not aware yet.
Okay. It's that it's just shock and confusion.
Okay. That is what 80 sees as she is rushing over to Mira, I assume. And Vi,
oh yeah.
A few moments after that, Vi will pick up on that as well.
Yeah, I'll run over and just kneel beside her. What happened? What's going on? Mira?
Mira hears 80's voice, but it's very distant. She really can't focus her eyes for several moments. So, 80, you get no response.
I will put my hands over her hands, which I assume are still clutching, and just it's okay. You're here. Are you here?
Slowly, the voice starts becoming more clear. You can definitely hear your sister.
Come on.
I'm gonna shake my head to clear it a little bit.
Hey.
As soon as I see 80 there, I will kind of drop the wall that I put up between us. And you feel just shock and confusion and frustration and complete overwhelm.
Beth, do me a favor, please, and roll a wisdom saving throw. I'm sorry, charisma saving throw.
22.
80 feels this onslaught of emotions. It hits her harder than she's ever been struck by anything in her life. She feels it deep within her soul. This wash of chaotic emotion that threatens to completely engulf her and bury her in darkness. She clenches her eyes tightly and grits through it. And then it stops. It, as almost like a wave that had crashed over her and then moved on, 80 pushes herself back up to the surface of this emotional torrent. And when she opens her eyes, she sees a light haloing her sister. This almost vibrant rays like the sun's that just shoot around her in all directions. And then when she blinks again, they fade. Mira sees the obvious physical reaction to 80 experiencing this, and now I imagine 80 is looking at her wide-eyed.
What happened?
I don't know exactly. I think I saw Orlumis.
Oh.
I don't think I know I saw Orlumis. I don't know how to. I don't know. I don't know who I am. I don't know what this is.
It's okay. I know who you are. It'll be okay. Just take a breath and let's figure it out, okay? Yeah?
Sorry I shut you out.
No, that's all right. Don't worry about that. Where did you go?
I don't know. I was here and I was lost. And something made me come over and see where the dragonling hatched, and instead of just the shell, I found this. I hold out the piece of diamond.
As you raise up the diamond in your hand and you look down at it, you realize that it has changed shape. Whereas previously it was more of a teardrop shape, it now seems to be like a heart. And in Mira's hands, she can faintly see a pulsing light within it. And it seems to beat with her own heart. So whatever heart rate that Mira has in this moment, that's what she sees inside of the crystal. And for what it's worth, that is not something that 80 can see. She sees the crystal, but she does not see the light from it.
I don't even know what to ask you right now. Do you feel okay physically?
I guess. No better or worse than I did. I mean, that fight didn't do me any favors. But I don't feel different.
Okay.
What emotions would, now that there's been a few moments of settling down, what emotions is Mira giving off to 80?
I think a little sadness, a little resignation, and maybe a little relief.
So, you spoke with Loomis?
Yes.
Okay, how did that go? This is all very weird. I'm sorry. I don't mean to...
I know it's weird. I don't know. I guess it went as well as it could have. You know how I feel about the Ascendant.
Did you tell him to scud off?
I tried. It's really hard to tell an Ascendant to scud off to their face.
You hear Bran kind of turning away from the group and stalking off and mumbling to himself, "I'd tell an Ascendant to scud off." And he goes back to his bedroll and just kind of lays down with the knowledge that you seem to be physically okay anyway. Hey, Dirty Rollers coming in with the raid. Thank you so much, guys. Welcome in. Things are just getting a little heavy here. So
I don't really know what to say because I don't really know what happened except Loomis told me that he did listen. And I guess I have some answers to why some of this stuff at school doesn't make sense. Because I'm not who I thought I was.
What do you mean?
I thought I was doing all this on my own. I thought I was the one making my path. And it doesn't seem like that's the case.
Like, Loomis has been in control?
More like directing people to guide me certain places, down certain roads.
Good roads?
I guess that remains to be seen.
Jeez.
Did it feel like he was talking at you, or did you actually have a conversation with him?
No, it felt like a conversation. I told him that I didn't want what he was offering. And he said that's always a possibility.
What was he offering?
What I already have.
Your magic?
Yeah.
So, did you give it up?
Didn't feel like a decision I could make right then. It's always an option, but I don't know who I would be without it. I don't know who I am now, but...
So wait, do your powers come from school, or are you like Adie and Bren?
I thought they came from school, but school has been easy in some ways and hard in some others. And from what I understood, Loomis, when I asked for powers 10 years ago, gave me the spark. So it's not something that I did on my own. It's not something that I made happen.
That's bullshit. I don't believe that at all. Amir, you worked hard to get to where you were, or to where you are. Like I don't think that everything was predestined. I don't think anything is destined to happen. I think we're free to make our own choices. I think that's bullshit.
He did say I could walk away. But he also said that, and I'll look at 80, that you need me.
Well,
He said
duh.
that, I mean, he said that you're at a tipping point.
Okay. Whatever the fuck that means. Look, I hope that you hear this. I don't care what you choose to do, as long as it's what you want to do. And I know that you're not in a place to maybe choose anything right now, but just don't let yourself go down the road of wondering. I know who you are, regardless of any of this, and Vi's right. It's bullshit to think that you didn't do this. You didn't get yourself where you are. I don't care what the Ascendant did or didn't do or said. Just know that.
It can't be any worse than the last couple of days have been. For me, at least. I know they've been good for you.
Well, yeah, but I don't like this. Did he say anything else? Why now? After all this time?
I asked that very question. And it's because we're at this tipping point. This precipice that I think I was so lost that without intervention, whatever plans he has or hopes or wishes could go sideways.
Adi does not know what to say or ask, or this is not anything that she could have anticipated. But I imagine that she's sitting facing you and just sort of holding your hands and kind of getting lost in her head.
Did he tell you that you had to do something? Like when I saw Vim Riddell, he mentioned balance a lot. He talked at me a lot and said balance a lot. And I don't know what that means for me, but was there something he wanted you to do? Or is it you have a decision to make?
It was just a reminder that in some ways I picked this path because of 80. And that is my reason to keep going. And to do whatever needs to be done. There was no ask, there was no need to promise anything. It was just a reminder of the fact that 80 and I need each other.
You're getting a little bit of anger from 80 now.
I'm gonna hold up my little diamond and say, well, I guess we both have one now. I'll have to put mine on a chain.
Yeah.
Bear in mind that yours is like that big around.
Yep.
Grandma's is like
Yep.
that big.
It's the thought that counts. No, you definitely get frustration from 80 as she's trying to process this. What the fuck? Like, just shows up out of nowhere because we're on a precipice, and what does that mean? Why can't he explain that further? Like, we're just supposed to wait and figure out what the fuck happens? And to put all of this on you? Like, we don't need an ascendant to understand how important we are to each other.
It sounded like it's bigger than us, though. I don't know. Why are we the ones who saw this meteor that we're chasing? Why are we out here?
Because I thought it would be fun. This is so not what I was expecting.
You hear from the corner, I told you! And then the rumpling of bedroll.
I'm sorry, this is not my thing. I don't like how you feel right now. It's very frustrating because I can't fucking do anything about it. Any other giant fucking gems that I could touch to, have some words with an ascendant? Because apparently that's happening all around right now.
I'll hand it over. Try this one.
Do you take the gem?
Sure.
Roll a charisma saving throw for me.
Uh-oh.
Is this like a bat phone to Orlumis?
Yeah. Come on, man. Okay. 21?
Yeah. As your hand touches the gem, you immediately feel a sense of nausea, like overwhelming nausea build up within you. You stifle it down, and then when you open your eyes, whilst you're holding the gem, you can see the halo of light around Mira, and you can feel her heartbeat in the gem. There's also, well, this is interesting. because of 80's emotional gifts, we'll call them, until they get elaborated on more. You feel a kindness, a genuine sense of pride and kindness coming through the gem. And then you're not feeling that from Mira, for what it's worth.
Absolutely, tears are falling now, and just seeing a glowing halo around you, and knowing so deeply that that feels right.
And just for clarity's sake, it's not like a halo on her head.
No, I know, just like a
silhouetting her body, as if being backlit by a brilliant, bright light.
Yeah. 80s, essentially, like that tracks. This is interesting. Can you feel this? And I'll hold the gem out for you to touch also. Is that your heartbeat?
Does Mira reach out?
Yes.
As soon as both of your hands are on it, Mira feels the exact same things that 80 was feeling, and she feels them in a way that she was not feeling before when she was holding the crystal. She feels the way that 80 has described her emotional sense of others. When you guys have talked about that previously, when you've talked about her magical gifts that for some time you guys thought were a curse upon her, you feel that in the way that she does. And there's a purity to it. It's not a curse. You don't know how you know that. You know that it's not a curse. Also, thank you so much, Varlby Gem, for the bits. That is wonderful from you. Thank you so much. Everybody has some additional advantages now.
Thank you.
If we end up getting that far. How do you think Mira would react to feeling 80's gift personally?
I mean, obviously, she's going to start crying too.
How does Vi react seeing both Mira and 80 crying?
Well, Andrew starts crying a bit. Vi's like, it's been a really long day, guys. I'm gonna go lay down.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just ready to go home. I don't know. It's been long.
Do you think we should turn around?
Well, I think the longer we stay here, the more dangerous it gets. I don't know. I've seen an ascendant. You've seen an ascendant. When is it going to be 80's turn and then Bren's turn, and then we're all just going to be kind of crazy when we leave this forest? I feel like we should just...
You hear a hell no from the corner.
Like, there was a call for help, and I think we were supposed to come help these little baby dragons, and I feel like we did what we came to do. I feel like we should leave. I feel like I have some life decisions to make. And so, I don't know, I'm just tired. And I don't know how much more of this I can handle, to be honest. What do you guys think? Do you guys want to keep going? I don't know. This is nuts.
I think that maybe it's not a decision we should make tonight. Because this has been 12 kinds of fucked, and I don't think I'm thinking clearly.
Maybe I'm the last person who should say this, but I think we should keep going. Vi, I know you almost died today, and I almost died today, and I don't. But I don't. What we saw fell in the Stormsong Mountains. I'm glad that we helped the dragons, but I don't think that's it. And also, I don't really want to go back to school yet because I don't even know what the hell I'm gonna tell my professors. I don't know. I don't know.
You have a shiny, cool rock to show them. I don't know. That's gotta be something.
Can you just have, like, Orlumis sign a slip or something?
I don't think it works that way. It would be, I think if it worked that way maybe 10 years ago, I could have had a slip.
Fuck.
Vi will call out to Jawline and ask, like, how much further is it to the mountains? Can we get there soon? Are we close?
He just kind of, see, he basically has had a pillow over his face for like the past few minutes. He just kind of flumps it forward, still looking straight up without looking at you, says, I don't know, man, like 2 days. Are we going back? Can we just sleep on it? Let's do that. Let's sleep on it and decide in the morning. Okay? And he just kind of puts the pillow back over his face. Because he almost died in the fight too. He ain't feeling that good either.
If we don't die in here, he's going to kill us.
Yeah. He is. I'm gonna go over and put an extra blanket on him and tuck him in.
When you go over to do that, I'll kind of look to Vi. We can turn back if you want, just so you know. We'll sleep on it, but
I don't know. I had a lot of plans, and I feel like I need to kind of, reevaluate what I'm doing. And I was hoping to make some money off of this, or, but the further we go in, just the more weird shit keeps happening. And I don't know, I don't want to put you guys in any more danger. And it turns out Mira is a lot cooler than I thought, and a lot, angrier than I thought, which is great. She's pretty sturdy, but I don't know. If anything happened to you, either of you, or to Jawline, I don't know. I couldn't live with myself,
I feel the same. Has anything else sort of settled for you after your otherworldly experience? Or is it still kind of, bananas?
I don't know. I didn't get a whole ass conversation like Mira did. I was literally flying. I felt like.
Did it feel good?
It felt confusing. It felt scary, but exciting. It felt like I was seeing places I've never seen before, which is kind of cool. It felt like I could, be myself.
That's great.
Yeah, but I don't know what it means. Just like Mira, I don't know what it means. I don't know. All I know is I can't keep living the way I'm living.
Yeah.
Like,
I know this isn't the point, but if we don't end up making any money off of this, I have, like, some. I haven't spent any of it.
I can't ask that of you.
You don't have to.
I can't. Like,
I know.
I feel like the city is a gutting, awful place for me. I can't buy an apple from the market without getting yelled at. I can't go into stores. I can't get a regular job because of my ears. I have this stupid brand of being a cursed person with clipped ears, but I don't have the powers. I don't have the shit that comes with that burden. And so I've just lived a lot of my life, I don't know, feeling like I don't belong anywhere and I can't belong anywhere. And I had this dumb dream of fixing my parents' boat restaurant, but I don't know if I could even serve people. I don't know if people would even come to buy food from me, and when I was flying and in that dream vision or whatever it was, I feel like I saw somewhere new, somewhere I could go and find balance or whatever,
For what it's worth, I don't think it's a dumb dream to have. I think it sounds awesome.
Yeah, but this whole trip has really made me kind of a bit more grounded in the shit that we live in, Like, I need to be a bit more realistic with what I can and can't do.
I don't think you should entirely give up on your dreams. I understand, though. Things are not great. And I can't make that better for you, for any of us. But I'll be there with you.
And I'm going wherever she goes.
That's a given.
Yeah, as Miro was putting the extra blanket onto Bren, there was a bit of a recoil at her touch, just for a moment, like a flinch. But Bren didn't say anything or do anything. You were able to give him the extra blanket without any issue or anything like that. When you turned and looked at the two of them and then made that comment, you were close enough to faintly hear, "God damn it," in hushed voice come from under the pillow.
You're glad you came with us.
No response. Just clenching the pillow tighter.
Well, I think it's been a stupid day. And maybe tomorrow will be better.
Is that Mira being cheery? I don't think I've ever seen that side of you in the last 3 days that I've known you.
Hasn't been a lot to be cheery about, Vi.
I don't know, we had some fun.
Jawline's rubbing off on you a little bit.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Well, I'm sure the both of you have a lot to talk about, having had this, ascendant experience. I don't...
Yeah, different vibes, eh?
Seems like. Orlum is...
Kind of seems like an asshole, or...
Yeah. He didn't yell at me exactly, but he didn't seem pleased that I shut Mira out, or 80 out.
Oh no, he was disappointed.
Yeah.
That is worse than anything.
It is worse.
How the fuck? So he's just there all the time, like in our
Apparently.
thoughts and emotions and shit. So fucked up. Also, what does he care? What we do with our connection? Mind his fucking business.
You keep ranting, I might get in trouble.
I don't want that to happen.
Well,
Struck down.
I don't think it's going to be an easy partnership, shall we say. I've spent the last 10 years being angry at the Ascendant. So this is going to be a bit of a, I don't know, situation, I guess.
Tell us how you really feel.
Scud off, Ascendant. That's how I really feel.
I tilt my head back and yell that to the sky.
I just look around.
We're still in the, like...
Yes. You're still inside
Great.
of the tree stump.
Hey.
The magical luminescence still floating around you of this place.
Just in solidarity.
The serenity of it, the calm beauty of it all, and then this echoing yell into the heavens, got off Ascendant.
Tried 80, feels good.
I don't know about that.
Are you actually chickening out right now?
It sounds like she is.
Oh my god, Scud off, Ascendant. And you feel that I mean it, Mira.
Didn't that feel good?
Yeah, it felt really good.
I gotta go to sleep.
Yeah, that's probably it.
I gotta go to sleep. I'm literally bleeding right now.
Oh, jeez. Well, let's patch you up and then we can rest.
So
I'll do a shitty job of patching Vi up.
You change Vi's bandages.
Yeah.
Is there anything that any of you would like to do before you all settle down for a long rest?
Before we go to sleep, I'll just, sidle up next to Mira and, you know that I'm like ridiculously proud of you, right? Like regardless of whether you were guided or not. Like so proud of you. And whatever this all means, I am fully confident that if anyone can figure it out, it is you. And we'll be all the better for it.
I know.
Good. You look like hell, if I'm being perfectly honest, now that I can't see the whole aura
Like hell.
around
Yeah.
you.
Mm.
Yeah, so you should probably
Yeah.
sleep. And I can like take a watch since, you know, Brent has fucked off and these two are on, I don't know, death's door or whatever.
As you settle in for the evening and 80, you kind of sit yourself up at the edges of this place and start a watch. Star comes over to you and just like headbutts you in your like elbow to get your attention, and you know, little pseudo dragon head. He's not trying to hurt you or anything, but the scales feel a little bit rough on your skin, and he kind of locks eyes with you and doesn't initiate a telepathic request to talk or anything like that. He just stares at you for several long minutes and then looks back to your bedroll and then looks back to you.
Yeah, get in. Come on, and I'll like try to offer space.
He scoots back away from you, and your emotional sense gets a bit of frustration from him, and he like then scoots forward and like headbutts your arm again, and then looks back at the bedroll.
Oh, you want me to sleep?
If a dragon could eye roll, that's what you get.
I'm gonna need you to be more direct because it has been a long day and I can't tell.
He flies up in the air and then goes behind you and like bites down on the back of your clothes and starts like dragging you towards your bedroll.
Okay. Jeez. Oh, that's pretty direct.
He lets go.
Thank you. You were very brave today.
Flies over to a spot and just sits there and preens a little bit at the compliment.
And I will fall asleep.
I assume that our bedrolls are next to each other, so I hear a little bit of you exclaiming about being dragged to your bedroll. I'm going to just roll over and grab your hand and fall asleep holding your hand.
So, as you all settle in for your long rest, which you do get, you can click the buttons in D&D Beyond and all that good stuff. You can take your long rest, feeling much better in the morning. Before we get to the morning, however, Andrew, Vi experiences a dream like she has never experienced before. You find yourself aloft. The boundless sky of the world open before you. The crisp air around you vivifies every sense of your body, awakening you with a clarity that would stir the soul, making you feel more alive than you have ever felt previous. Below, the world stretches out into distant horizons, its vast expanse of beauty and mystery, observed only from this rare vantage of the skies. To your left and right, you can see the silhouettes dragons accompanying your flight. Their forms shimmering with a magic that makes them mere whispers against the clouds. Though their scales hint at a spectrum of colors between them, they remain veiled as if not to draw a gaze of those below who might look up into the skies and wonder. Yet you can perceive them clearly. Intuitively, you understand that these dragons are young, their presence vibrant with nascent power. You can't pinpoint how this knowledge comes to you, but it is clear as the air around. For a fleeting moment, the sensation overtakes you. You are not just among them, you are one of them. Your spirit in lockstep with their graceful dance across the skies. A voice fills your mind, all of the dragon's minds. It resounds with the clarity of the most perfect crystalline chime. It is Vimredale. His commanding presence is like a weighted blanket that warms you deep within your heart. His voice echoes inside of you. His words weave through your thoughts like a melody of empowerment. Balance the world. Protect the innocent. Guide the lost. The voice doesn't command. It inspires. Truth resonating within you that you feel to the marrow of your very bones. As the echoing voice of Vimredale fades, darkness begins to creep in at the edges of your vision. And the exhilarating rush of the air around you grows faint. Its once invigorating chill begins to recede, as if distant. You feel the dream beginning to slip away from you. You desperately try to cling to it, to the freedom and unity of soaring in the heavens amongst these dragons, but the details slip away like sand through outstretched fingers. The dream's vividness dims, leaving behind a longing within you, a yearning to return to the skies that begins to slowly fall away like a distant memory. Your eyes struggle against the light of day. Blearily, you open them, and above you, you see the diamond dragonling from the conclave, wings slowly keeping themselves aloft as they float above you. And then its form begins to fade to translucence as you transition between dream and consciousness. Suddenly, everything from your dreamscape vanishes, leaving behind a weight upon your chest, a heaviness, a power, a burden, the unknown. Your breath catches each inhale, a struggle, and you clench your eyes tightly through it. What do you do?
I shake, I cough, I scream. I don't know. I don't.
You cough and scream and shake. You find yourself unable to move this weight upon your chest. You open your eyes and you look down and you see Starry laying there curled up on your chest, making it hard for you to breathe. And as your consciousness begins to fully take over, you start to feel aware of your surroundings. And for a tiny pseudo-dragon, Star weighs pretty heavy upon you at this moment, but they are curled up tightly. Give me a insight check, please. I'll remind you, there are some advantages still to be had if you end up needing it.
It's 19.
19. Pretty good. You see their eyes are closed. There's a slight twitching to their eye as if they are dreaming.
I rest my hand on Star's head and kind of stroke down their neck and flop back onto my bedroll and just open my eyes, and I don't know if I can see the sky from here. Or
You can.
if I'm,
It comes
stare.
through the upwards canopy. Yeah.
I'll just stare up at the blue.
Okay. You do find yourself struggling to breathe with the weight of Star upon you. But you can breathe, and
I don't want to wake them up. They're dreaming.
Yes. You suffer through it, we'll say. You look over and you do see that Bren is not in their bedroll, but their stuff is still here. They're just not present as you look around. And very shortly after you wake up from this dream, trying to process what it might have meant, what kind of influence the telepathic Starry might have had upon you. Eventually, Mira begins to waken, and I imagine 80 shortly thereafter. Or wait, did we determine that 80 always tries to sleep in? Forces it? I forget.
I thought that was
who's the
Mira.
early riser here?
I enjoy waking up early. My work has had me staying up at night, but my preference is to be up in the morning. Although after everything we've experienced, I really couldn't say.
Rollies?
Yeah,
Rollies.
fucking do it.
Find out who wakes up first. I love it. Thank you so much, everyone in chat. I love all of the chat going down whenever I do those narrations. It warms my heart.
That's a 4.
And I got a 7.
All right, Deb, it's your choice. Does 80 wake up before Mira?
I think in this case, Mira probably wakes up first.
Okay. Given how close the die rolls are, I'm going to say it's not that much longer. But
Yep.
Mira, you do wake up and notice Bren is not present, although his stuff is still there. And Vi seems to be struggling underneath of Starry. Vi does look over at you, so you know that they're awake.
Brent's not here? You've been awake longer than me. Did you see him get up?
Andrew?
Vi is dead.
Vi's trying their best not to move or talk because the little dragon is sleeping on me. You know when you have a tiny dog on you, you just don't want to. Like, my dogs are tiny, and I never want to wake them up because they're so sweet.
Because they're perfect.
Exactly.
Well, I guess I'll take your silence as a maybe. I don't know. It's fine. You've got a
Mira,
dragon. What?
why? Why are we talking?
Because Bren's not here. I don't.
What?
His stuff is here. I'm sure it's fine.
80 shoots up.
Just wondering.
He left us.
Was
He
just
left
wondering
us.
if Vi had seen him walk off, but Vi is currently occupied, so who knows?
Oh, come on. Listen, I asked that goddamn dragon to come hang out with me, and look. He just dragged me.
Oh, here's an interesting tidbit. I imagine that 80 has difficulty controlling her emotional awareness when she first wakes up.
Yeah.
So what kind of emotions is Vi experiencing in the aftermath of her dream that 80 can pick up on? Andrew?
I'm sorry, I got distracted by the chat. What did you ask?
Damn it, chat.
Chat's getting wild.
I mean, Kay and Bleak are there, so of course it is. Love you, Kay. Andrew, what kind of emotions is Vi experiencing in the aftermath of her dreams and, being in this state with Starry upon their form?
Vi is kind of processing and almost contemplating, trying their best to relive that feeling of freedom, of flying, and then also trying to process the weight of not only Star, but of that darkness that is holding her down. I feel like it's a pretty great metaphor for the conversation she just had with 80. Yeah, so I think she's just trying to process what her subconscious, or if that was another interaction with Vimredel. She's just enjoying these snuggles and watching the clouds float by, figuring out her life, and wanting that feeling of flying again.
You do anything with that, Beth?
Vi, what the fuck happened last night? I'm getting a really weird vibe from you. It's too early for all of these feelings. What is going on?
I had weird dreams. I don't know. I don't know. I had weird dreams. I don't know.
You don't have to share. It's okay.
Good weird, bad weird, just weird weird?
Well, not the best kind of dream. That I recognize.
Oh, God.
And you had to take care.
I feel everything, okay?
This is why I never have you over for sleepovers. You're just super weird in the morning. No, I...
Now you know what I've had to deal with my entire life.
I should not have allowed you to become friends. This is bad for me.
This is your fault.
Yep. So you had a dream.
Yeah, I don't know. I was flying, I heard Vimredel. I don't know if it was actually him. I don't know if it was just my subconscious reliving that other part that I had, the other vision I had. I don't know. He like talks at me. You know what I mean? Like, you had a conversation, but like this guy just like, it's not a command per se, but it's like it's a very bold statement, I guess, or he's trying to inspire me to do something. I don't know.
I've spent my fair share of time in temples and shrines, and from what I know of Vimredal, that tracks. I think he likes to make people prove themselves.
Oh, fuck, I've been doing that my whole life. Like, he said he wants me to, I think he said, inspire I don't know, protect the weak or something. I honestly can't remember.
Is that Andrew can't remember? Or...
Yeah, absolutely. Both.
Do you want me to remind you, or are you just
Sure.
So it was balance the world, protect the innocent, guide the lost.
That's what he said. Which, I don't know why he chose me to do that. So I feel like that's just my ego and my subconscious telling me how awesome I am. And I don't know. It was a really cool feeling. Again, I felt like I could be myself. I felt like I wasn't tied down. I felt like I could do anything. And then it just came crashing down, kind of like the story of my life, So I don't know. I feel like it was just a dream, and or maybe it was real. I don't know. I'm still processing it. That was the dream. That's why I feel weird, I guess. I don't know. You asked. I don't know. Like, why are you looking at me like that?
I don't know what to make of any of this.
I think that's a beautiful dream. And I think your dream of fixing up your parents' restaurant is a beautiful dream. And I feel like if we turn around now, we'll go back and things will be the same. Or we could keep going and try to make those dreams real life.
As you say that, from behind Mira, the rest of you are able to see walking into the space, carrying a handful of various fruits and vegetables, and a couple of squirrels dead and cleaned, ready to be cooked. You see Bren kind of step into the space, and he heard what Mira said, and he has this just look on his face of, God damn it. And he sighs heavily and kind of trudges into the space and starts preparing food. I got breakfast.
Bren, my favorite. How did you know I love squirrel?
That's a damn good thing I got it then.
Thank you.
So we're doing this. All right.
Apologies in advance.
I mean, we've made it this far. I'm sure it's a pretty cool view from up there.
Oh yeah. Till something kills you. You think we've had to deal with a lot in the Siltwood. Storm Song ain't a pretty place sometimes. Just saying.
I have full faith in you, Jawline.
And apparently now there are at least we have the attention of at least 2 Ascendant, so it can't be the worst thing. I mean, it can. It's absolutely the worst thing, but maybe they'll keep us
Thank you.
alive long enough. I don't know.
We'll see.
Listen, you and I don't know each other that well, but maybe there was a reason that we went to the same park all the time, and you and Vi know each other, and it just doesn't seem like it's a coincidence anymore.
I'm gonna make food. And he just starts preparing breakfast. You guys should pack up stuff. We should get going. So you guys set about breaking your encampment, and while Bren settles into making some food for all of you, doesn't take you very long before you are once again back on the path through the Siltwood. And this time, you seem to be going at a slightly better pace than you had been previously. Star seems to intuitively know where it is that you need to go. There seems to be a little bit of communication taking place between Bren and Star, and you make good time. The forest, shrouded in its perpetual mist, doesn't waylay you as much as it did before. You're more accustomed to it now. There's a difference in your step, as it were. Maybe there's a little bit less fear now as well. You still feel as though you're being watched in this place, as if the trees and the fauna have eyes. And you definitely know for certain why so many people that have ventured into this place have not made it back. But you're glad, at least for the moment, that it doesn't seem like you will be counted among that number. And as you near to the edges of the Siltwood, Starry stops, and there is a brief exchange that takes place between them and Bren. A silent communication, a telepathic way of communicating that only they have been able to share. And it's a solemn moment as Bren kind of nods, and with Star standing on his shoulder, he just reaches up and scratches behind the crest of Star's head. Star looks back at the three of you, and with pretty good clarity, 80 is able to pick up on a sense of happiness coming from them. But there's that sarcastic undertone as he locks eyes with 80, and that kind of eye roll stare once again before he just takes off into the canopy of the trees above you and disappears from sight. Bren watches him go, stands there for a few moments, kind of lingering on where Starry disappeared, and then looks back at the three of you and says, "We doing this?"
Yeah.
We made it this far.
All right, then. Follow me. And he turns on his heel and starts continuing the way that you had been going. You emerge from the Siltwood, and immediately your breath is taken away at the sight of the Stormsong Mountains. This enormous peak is before you. This southernmost point on this chain of mountains that moves off farther than you can see. The clouds of the sky touch the crest of its peaks. The fog coming off of the Siltwood roams among its foothills. And there you stand at the base, looking up into the thousands upon thousands of feet ahead of you that juts up into the sun-filled skies. As the suns are setting, you can see the shadows, long shadows cast to the east. And you look out, and the horizon there, roiling with the prime sea, the chaos of it in that distance, you can hear the cacophony of echoes coming from the mountains that relays the sounds of the violent oceans below. It sends a chill up all of your spines. Bren takes it in stride, giving you a moment to come to terms with what you see before you, before he pulls up his sack onto his shoulders a little bit tighter and starts walking forward, saying, "Come on then, gotta find a decent place to camp." As you all crest forward, what's going through your minds?
This is fucking terrifying.
This is fucking awesome.
This is fucking ridiculous. Mira's thinking about the different places that she's lived throughout her life, and her family kind of moved around a lot because of Adi and Mira's mom's work. And she's thinking about, like, none of the places that she's ever been hold a candle to what she's experiencing right now.
Yeah, Vi's just in utter awe. She's lived in the city her whole life, and the furthest she's ever gone out is probably Bren's farm. So this is terrifying, incredible, and awe-inspiring at the same time.
I imagine that 80s experience is much like my experience as a Midwesterner seeing the Rocky Mountains for the first time, being like, holy shit, this is how things can be. That's so cool. But I definitely think she's in line with how Mira's feeling about having been so many places, but nothing like this. And hearing the ocean outside of all of that, it just makes everything feel so big.
As Bren leads all of you forward, you only have a couple of hours of light left to find a camp. It doesn't take... It's not very difficult. This is technically a trek that Bren has made before. And eventually you find a spot that seems comfortable to him. It's just at the top of a small hill amongst these many foothills. There's not a lot of trees around, so there's plenty of ability to see fairly far off and know pretty clearly if anything is coming towards you or stalking you or whatnot. But the three of you keep looking or noticing Bren looking up. He doesn't seem to be as bothered about what might be on the ground. As you all settle in for camp, Bren has a bit of a edge to him. He's a little unsettled. Adi is picking up on not fear the way that she might have initially thought would be feeling, but more he's taking up a stance more like a sentinel would. Someone clearly keeping an eye out for any and all dangers that might be ahead of you. As you all settle into your evening routines, Deb, would like for you to please roll an Arcana check for me.
$17.
Okay. As you guys are unpacking your things, Bren is unpacking some of the food that he had brought, not having had much of opportunity to forage. Starts making a fairly basic meal. Mira goes to her books. She feels comfortable in it now. She hadn't been really that comfortable in the Siltwood to do that, partly because of the experience that she was dealing with, but now that you are a couple of days removed, because it did take a couple of days to reach this point since your endeavors and ascendant experience, Mira opens her spell book for the first time in a few days. And it's clearer than it has ever been. The formulas start making more sense now. She starts understanding that what she had written was correct. There's a feel to magic. It's not just about words and symbols and writings and shapes and precise methods. There's an emotion to it. There is a raw experience that she starts to understand. How does she feel when that happens?
I think she feels like really pleased that this piece she feels like she's been missing has clicked into place a little bit. And she's also a little frustrated that, like, oh, it could have been this easy, and why is it not easy? And so she's got these sort of warring emotions within her, like, okay, great, this makes sense, and I'm really like, it's that aha moment for sure, and all of the pleasure that comes with that, but also like, come on, why? And just like a little bit of mild spite toward Loomis, because she's like, this could have been easy, should have been easy, would have been easy, but I had to do this the hard way, I guess.
How much of that is 80 picking up on? Beth?
I would say a decent amount. I think that 80's been very clued in to everyone's emotions, but particularly Mira, with everything that's been happening and having so many more questions about it, and like maybe hoping to glean anything from her emotions. But I also think that 80 is just chatting with Vi and just asking, Vi, truth or dare?
Honestly, I was about to ask you that same thing. I
beat you to it.
Goddamn. Truth.
Okay. What would be your like signature dish on your riverboat restaurant?
It would be probably a rice noodle dish with pork broth and pork belly.
That sounds so good.
Yeah.
We're gonna make this happen. Selfishly, just so that I can eat that.
I mean, I can just make it for you, but
you say that as Bren like passes you this bowl of like boiled water stew with remnants of, you know, almost going vegetables with a little bit of rice. Like, fine, I guess.
Truth or dare?
Dare.
I dare you to ask Bren for a second helping of that soup after.
Okay. Just painfully sip at it.
It doesn't taste bad.
It's just
not what Vi was just talking about.
Well, I know, which is totally not fair.
You were the one who asked the question.
That's true.
Are we actually gonna climb that thing? Like,
I have no idea.
I can't even. Like, Vi will look at the mountain and try to look into the direction of the city and try to gauge where that comet had landed, if she could see it at all.
You can see the city in the far distance. It's many, many miles away at this point, right? But you're high enough that you can peer over the siltwood. And in particular, you can see Orluma's Heart, the enormous cathedral, far in the distance more than anything else. Even in this evening light or evening night, it gives off light that can be seen far, far away. And you figure, well, give me a survival check. Damn, you guys are pretty
17.
decent tonight. Depending upon how hard it is to traverse the mountains, you've still got a good distance to go. It's not going to be easy.
Scott, it's so high.
I'm sure we'll be fine.
It's also past this peak. You are
Uh-huh.
fairly certain that it is deeper in the mountain chain.
I said I'm sure we'll be fine. I did not mean it. And as we're fucking around and, playing truth or dare, I'm definitely still paying attention to Mira as she's going through her book and hoping that it continues in the positive direction, but like
Mira
being super
has
ready.
like sunk into a little bit of a trance at this point, and she's got some. She pulled out some other stuff from her bag, and I'm gonna ritual cast augury
Okay.
and just see what happens.
What is the question that you are asking?
Is the path ahead of us free from immediate danger?
As you start gathering up your things and having the spell book open, this portion of the book that you had remembered writing over and over and over again and trying to understand it, there's like 4 times as many pages in the book dedicated to this one spell than you believe should be there. Now that it's making sense, you're able to get a grasp of it, and you realize that you don't have all of the components that you would need. And as you are about to start putting everything away out of frustration, there's an instinct for you to use the diamond stone instead. And you cast your mind into it. You begin to utter the arcane words necessary. You inscribe symbols in the air. They're not as precise as you've seen other students do for things that they ritually cast, and you realize that they don't have to be. It's about the invocation more than anything else. And you successfully complete the spell that had eluded you for however many months that you had been working on it. And you think in your mind about the potential dangers ahead, and the gemstone starts to turn red, and you feel woe building in your mind.
Adi is gonna feel just this intense flash of pride in being able to do something that has been so elusive for so long. And then she's gonna start feeling a little bit of that sense of woe creep in. And I think Mira wants to hold on to this. You know, she can kind of hear the truth or dare happening in the background as she's been focusing on this. And I think she wants to let them have as much time as they can in this light moment. And so I think she's going to cover the diamond to keep the others from seeing the color right away.
I think that in feeling your sense of pride, I don't think that 80 would interrupt you or anything, because it's so refreshing to see you like back in the zone, and to feel the pride when everything you felt recently has been so negative and heavy. But I will, sitting across from Vi, I'll just gently smack her on the leg and say, I think she's back.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Yeah. Nothing. She's just, I think she's feeling herself right now, and I'm very excited.
She's feeling her oats.
Oh, man.
I'll look over at Mira. What is she like when she's not pissed?
That's funny because she's not an angry person. So this characterization is it's great. What is she like? I mean, she's the best. All of those smarts are poured into just like a whip smart sense of humor, and which I'm sure you've kind of also witnessed in all that, you know, we've done to get here. She is, under that anger, probably the kindest person I've ever met in my life. I'm probably biased, but
I mean,
you know,
she really loves you. You can see that plainly.
yeah, I know.
So does she like really hate the Ascendants, or is it like the institution, or you know, the clergy? Like I my mom liked or worshipped the Ascendants, but she hated the system that they were in. Does she actually hate the gods and what they represent, or does she kind of just hate the representation of them?
They've let her down consistently for years. I think that I'm surprised at her strength in spite of all of that, because she did everything to get their attention. And that's why I'm so fucking frustrated to hear that they were listening the whole time and watching her struggle through all of this, and it didn't bother saying anything. So yeah, she doesn't particularly care for the Ascendant. And the institution, it's a little complicated because, like, our parents are in the clergy, and I think it's probably a bit biased because I know my parents. I love them. I feel like they are doing good in the world or want to. But there's a reason I haven't told them anything about me.
I can understand why, that makes sense. Do you think your parents would?
That's the thing that's so frustrating is I think they'd be fine with it, personally. But I know that it would be such an incredible risk for them to know. And I can't take that. I mean, it's easier to just not have them know, and I don't know. But I think I'm kind of amazed at the fact that Mira's been so entrenched in this education that puts her in a position where she has to sort of, betray how she really feels about all of it constantly. Fucking convocations weekly that she just despises. And it's all for me, which is, I mean...
How do you feel about that?
I feel incredibly loved in a way that feels not undeserving, but I know that she's compromised a lot of herself for the sake of all of this, and I wonder a lot what her life might be like if, she was able to just go her own way. I wonder if it'd be better, just different. But I'm not ungrateful. I'm very, very lucky.
I mean, from what I've seen, I don't think Mira really minds. Like I said, you could tell that she really loves you, and she said wherever you go, she'll go. And I think regardless of the situation that you guys are in, she would just follow you anywhere, anyways,
I mean, I'd like to lead us in a direction that she'd actually want to go. This is,
And I don't think I got the answer out of her yesterday, but do you know where she wants to go? Do you know what she wants to do? And it can't just be whatever you want to do, right?
I think that she has told herself for a long time that she wants whatever I want. And that's the part I hate, to think that she bases her decisions on the limitations that I bring. And like, she says she says she doesn't blame me, but like, everything with Phelan, like, she couldn't be honest with them. And at least a percentage of that is because of my secret. And I fucking hate that.
I understand you guys are twins, and I know you guys are really close, and you literally share this bond. But you guys know you're your own people, right? Like, you can have separate dreams and separate emotions, you know?
Intellectually, I understand that. It's really hard to separate. I don't want to. I don't know anything other than us. And I want her to have all the space she wants to do anything that she wants, but I'm also kind of afraid that if she really took advantage of that
You'd lose her?
Yeah. I don't know what would happen. I know that she'd never leave me. But I don't know, I just want her to know that she can.
Well, I think you guys need to find your own boat restaurants and, you know, figure out what you guys want to do with or without each other, you know? It's... the enmeshment is very palpable, especially when I see you guys together.
I think it's hard for people to understand if you're not a twin. Because we have our brothers, and I think that they're fantastic and so fun, and my relationship with them is nothing like our relationship. And maybe it's because age difference and they're guys and whatever, but even without this ridiculous emotional connection that we have, I mean, it's different. It's just different, and I love it. But I think that at least I feel very dependent on it. And so when we've been losing our fights and she goes unconscious, it's like there's a hollowness that I feel that's left, and it's almost indescribable, and I'm terrified of it feeling worse than that. I don't know how it could.
It sounds like you really love your sister. It sounds like more than, you know, words can really describe. I don't know how to tell you, but loss is very real. I'm not saying Mira is gonna die, or you're gonna lose Mira forever. That's not what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, you have to figure out what your boat restaurant is, what you need, what makes 80 without Mira. And Mira kind of has to do the same thing, but I know you better than I know Mira, so I'm not going to just say that to her, but you know what I mean? But I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing too with my life, and I just want to make sure that you're okay too, with or without your sister, because you are a great person, you're kind and generous and charismatic. You walk into a room and it literally brightens up, and
say more.
I don't know, you're gorgeous.
No, stop. I'm talking with you.
All this to say is that your sister doesn't make you who you are, and I just want to make sure that you see that in yourself too, And I hope at some point Mira does as well. I mean, you guys both look the same, it's kind of...
We look different.
We can tell you
got
apart.
The, sort of like ethereal, waif-like, blonde sort of situation happening.
Mm-hmm. And you have like the tavern wench can crush my head like a watermelon with your thighs kind of vibe.
I am so glad that you picked up on that. That's really what I've been trying to present to the world.
It's working. It's working. I'm living for it. But I just want you to be okay at the end of the day, AD. Like, you're like my best friend, and I've lost a lot of friends in my time, so I just want to make sure that if anything happens to me, or if we end up not in each other's lives again, that you'll be okay.
I think you're kind of stuck with me. Hate to break that to you. I'll work on being okay with that. But also, you are stuck with me. I know that you've lost people, and I can't guarantee anything, because, who can? But, I mean, you have helped me through quite a lot of shit. And in spite of a lot, you are still my friend. And that doesn't just go away for me, So, as long as you're wanting to be my bestie, I think, I don't know.
Mira's kind of getting kind of close to that title. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, wow. Okay. It's fine, honestly. I'll just feel your fun relationship from the sidelines and feel wistful about it.
Yeah. This has gotten really heavy, man. I don't know. Like, I'm so sorry.
I mean, you kind of get used to all of the feelings when they're just constantly, bearing down on you. I will admit that it has been quite a lot heavier the last few days than I am used to. But I do find some comfort in I don't know, just in feeling connected to you all. It makes me feel safe, and it makes me feel like I can ideally keep you all safe. So I don't care if it gets heavy. I mean, it's life, right?
Yeah. It has been really nice being with everybody.
I know we tease about it, but I am really glad that you and Mira are, getting along.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. You're my favorite people. This is the best.
It's been fun getting to know her, It was really interesting to finally, meet her and get to know her, because I pseudo got to know her through you, and seemed to be a lot of complaining and a lot of, I don't know, you really made her seem out to be like a mother hen, and it seems like she's a bit more badass than you kind of led me to believe.
Listen, I don't get to share any of that with anyone but her. And I don't like calling her a mother hen to her face.
No, that's valid. That's valid.
I appreciate your discretion. Although you totally dropped the ball and mentioned the fucking gambling den. I mean, it's cool, I think.
Yeah, that's my bad. I don't know what lies you've told her and told me. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how she knows how we met or not.
Well, she sort of does now.
I mean, I think I played it off pretty smooth. There were gamblers at a bar. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
It's not a gambling den. It's just a bar where people gamble. It's totally different.
She doesn't know, though. Like.
What doesn't she know? Just you gotta tell me what she doesn't know, so then I don't.
I've told you. She doesn't know about any of that part of, my nightlife, and
she doesn't know you're a little sneak thief.
Oh, she knows that.
Oh.
That's, just in general, yeah. But look, after everything that happened, I can't cope with it yet, so, mum's the word, I guess.
Yeah, I'll try my best. No promises, though. I'm so...
Well, and I'm sorry, I don't want to, compromise your, sense of honesty or whatever the fuck.
I just feel like I'm a great liar, but my face just gets so warm, and I feel like everybody can tell whenever I'm lying.
Listen, let's just not at all bring it up in, no context whatsoever.
You better not be lying to me.
What?
Huh?
I'm just gonna say, she's 10 feet away from you guys as you're talking
it was
about
whispering. We were whispering.
I assume my ritual casting has been done.
Yes.
Shush. Shush.
We would never lie to you, Mira.
Uh-huh.
No, I can't lie.
I'm sure that there's some things we should talk about later. But since it seems like Truth or Dare is done, we've got some stuff to talk about now, too.
Sure.
So, good news. I managed to cast a spell that has not been going well for me for a while, so that's cool. Bad
awesome.
news, it was a spell to figure out if there was danger ahead, and yes, the answer is definitely lots. Like immediate.
You hear from the side. I didn't need to talk to the friggin' Ascendant to tell you that.
Yeah, well, it was worded more eloquently than that. I wanted to know about our immediate path and immediate dangers, and it sounds like there are some close.
Yeah, Bren, you keep looking up. Why are you looking up?
Because I'm smart. We're next to a mountain. You think they're gonna come at us from underneath of us?
They?
Okay, I don't.
They. What's that? Who's gonna come at us?
The things that live in the mountain?
Cool. Totally know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't remember you being this snarky or cryptic, Jawline. I felt like you were more of a fatherly
Get
figure.
him almost killed.
He was really nice when I would bring in pastries in the park. He doesn't seem to be channeling
I would
that energy.
love to be in the park right now.
So would I.
I've got first watch. You guys can settle amongst yourselves the rest. Get some sleep. You're gonna need it tomorrow. Okay?
Okay.
Yes, Dad.
Don't ever call me that.
Daddy. What? That was under my breath.
He's gonna knife you in your sleep. Like, he's the imminent danger at this point. Like, he is the woe, I think.
Oh my gosh.
He's like a million years old, and he's also like my uncle. It's super weird, man.
I have eyes, okay? I have eyes.
Yeah?
You can't be mad at me.
No, that's valid.
So, as you all settle in for the evening, taking your watches, as tense as the evening might have been, your watches are uneventful. You can each make up your mind how you might have responded to the various noises that you could hear from the wilderness animals around, the cacophony of noise from echoing down from the mountainside, relaying the sounds of the ocean not too far distant to your east. But morning does come for you. As the sun's crest overhead and you're packing up your camp, there's a certain tension to things. The air is cool and crisp as it comes down from the mountainside, but the echoes seem to be stronger in the morning, as if the tides are causing more chaos this morning than they were overnight. And you can tell very clearly that Bren is a little bit on edge. Maybe he didn't sleep that well. Maybe it's just normal in this circumstance. You're not entirely sure. But everything changes in the blink of an eye as you are packing up your camp, mostly silently, little chit-chat amongst each other, and a shadow creeps across your encampment. You look around, the light is completely obscured. You look up, you can see Bren is already looking up, and above you, you see the silhouette of a winged creature bearing down upon you. And that's where we're going to call it tonight, ladies and gentlemen.